I've decided let it just be, let's call it Detox 2023 kwa sababu what I can say is I didn't know it was gonna be that much work. You get. So, welcome to Detox 2023. So I'm just going to be naming 5 ways to stay safe in Nairobi, especially the CBD and other business areas of Nairobi with a lot of activities like Westlands, Parklands, and all those other unmentioned, which you will know. You definitely know the places you go to, and it's like hapa wacha nijichunge. So let's do this. Number 1, how to stay safe. Avoid crowded places. Look here. When you're walking in Nairobi, there are certain places that you'll come across. Unaona watu wamejazana. They're just packed. You don't know what they are doing, but usually I have peeked to see what goes on. So usually inakuanga either gambling is going on, and then there is this particular one which is very common where there is a stationary van and a crowd of people trying to convince people that they are gonna win something like laptops and so many other things. So they tend to call you or just literally grab you. And then there are these other guys who just come up with crowds to talk about what is dangerous for us in terms of health, and they try to do those chemical mixing things. And people tend to crowd around that area. The problem now with you also being one of those people who is interested in watching what is going on ni 1, utaibiwa simu, 2, unaweza kuwa drugged, ama utaibiwa tu pesa. A lot of pickpockets pick out such places to do their trade, to ply their trade. Sorry, there's a little bit of noise. I hope it's not leaking. But yes, pickpockets are there usually, and on top of that, they use such spots to mark people. When you're standing there and you're looking all dressed up well, definitely you've been marked, and there's a possibility of some of these people following you up to your home, or even into the next PSV vehicle that you're going to board. So if you want to be safe in Nairobi, when you see such crowds, when you see places where people are packed, just stick to your lane. Even just take a different route. Avoid such a place. Totally avoid such a place. So, number 2 of how to stay safe in Nairobi. I always think this is common sense, but it turns out it's not common sense to a lot of people, especially in the CBD. And maybe other areas where matatus tend to line up or tend to park. Do not cross in between 2 matatus that are in motion. And I don't mean on the road. No, they might be maybe in their designated zones, but somehow you can see the driver is playing around with and you might be tempted to, maybe not even tempted, you're just on your business. You want to cross in between these 2 matatus. One is in front, one is behind. There's a high risk of you being smashed or squashed in between. It has happened. It happens each time, not even being squashed only. The matatu in front, most of these drivers are usually very, very careless. The matatu in front can reverse suddenly and run over you. I personally know someone who was crushed by a matatu that was in motion, but it was reversing. And they were just, standing behind the matatu waiting to cross the road. With matatus, you never know. You will never know. They are so unpredictable. If you want to cross the road, and not only matatus, I think even personal vehicles, it's it's just common knowledge. Cross in front of the vehicle and not behind it, because the driver might not be able to see you. But now I'm mentioning matatus or PSV vehicles because they are usually very careless and they do not care. They are ignorant also. So try avoid doing that so that you can be safe and you can get home, safely in peace. And number 3, to be able to stay safe in Nairobi, Mm. Mm, COVID has helped us a lot when it comes to this, but still, being an African thing, I have to say it out loud. Do not shake hands with anyone in Nairobi. Even if it's someone you know somehow. I know nowadays there's so many ways of just, saying hi. But recently, due to certain insecurity situations that have come up, shaking hands with someone, especially that you do not know, because most of them come under the pretense of, hey, hi, how are you? And they've already extended their hand. And instinctively, because you're used to saying hi to people, by shaking, you'll also extend your hand and you'll shake their hand. Now, the problem with this is that, yes, I understand. We shake hands to get to know each other. But now the problem with this is there have been situations where people have also been dragged, or certain situations, funny situations, spiritual situations have happened. I even don't know one. I don't understand this. But if you guys remember the Onyancha story, that serial killer guy, he said that he used to lure his women by just saying hi to them, and something would happen and they would follow him. I don't know whether it's a drug, I don't know whether it's a superpower thing, but that's what he said. So let me give you an example. There was a time I was just walking in the CBD. I'm just doing my own thing, and usually they mark you from afar. So as I'm progressing, I'm just there absent-minded, focusing on where I'm headed. This guy just comes and they go like, hi. And because in my head already I know, like, I do not know you, automatically for me, I usually just take my hands behind me and go like, oh, hi. Funny thing is, their hands remained there. Their hand remained there. And they kept on insisting they want to shake my hand. And I was like, I do not know you. They were like, madam, utaki kunisalimia? I'm like, pana, sikujui, lakini nimekubali salamu yako, habari yako. But as I'm speaking, I'm moving behind. I'm giving space between this guy. I don't know where he came from, but it's like clearly he targeted me. So the fact that he was also insisting that I should say hi to him even heightened my sense of protection. I wanted to just go. I went into protective mode, and I was like, no, is it a must I say hi to you by greeting your hand? So I don't know what I escaped. I don't know whether he had ulterior motives. In Nairobi, you would never know. But in Nairobi, do not be good. Do not be good. Always have your senses with you. So that's what happened. So shaking hands in Nairobi, unless you really, really know this person, it shouldn't be happening. Just say hi, smile, move on. If it's a stranger, if they go like, hi, you have a right to reply or not to reply. You move on. Now, number 4. So before I continue, guys, the mixture that I'm having right now is chia seeds. Chia seeds is very beneficial when it comes to helping you cleanse your bowel and eases your bowel movements along the way. It's also rich in certain vitamins, and especially it helps clear up your skin, look good. And guys, me, I'm not good in explaining all these things. Yeah, you can read about them, but anyway, so all this I'm taking now is for a reason. Si bure. Because 2023 tumesema nini? Tunatengeneza mwili na akili na tabia, si ndio? So another way to be safe in Nairobi: avoid public ATMs. There are so many ATMs in Nairobi, ziko mingi sana, depending with the bank that you are with. And some of these ATMs are situated in various spots, but there are certain spots I can call hotspots. Hotspots in the sense that if you access that particular ATM, just know you've exposed yourself to criminals in Nairobi, because this is where they're situated around such areas to be able to follow you once you access your money. And some of these spots are usually in very public area, ATMs that are very, very public. We have ATMs that are extremely public. I would love to name a few, but no. that is their business, why they're situated where they're situated. But preferably for me, if you want to access an ATM, just do this. Enter a mall that has an ATM, access your money there, and leave. When you go into a place where there are so many activities happening, nobody will know what you went in to do. But if you go to a building that's specifically a bank that has an ATM attached to it, even if there is security, just know that someone has marked you. Or nowadays in Kenya, we have digital apps. You don't really have to access your money physically, through certain designated spots. All you have to do is just go online and blah blah blah. Your money comes into your M-Pesa, and you can access your M-Pesa money anywhere. And I mean anywhere. Even all neighborhoods have M-Pesa areas where you can access your money. So avoid ATMs. I just knocked my mic. Anyway, avoid ATMs that are very open and are in public places. That is one way to keep safe in Nairobi. Number 4. So another way to be safe, and this is mostly for people who are new to Nairobi, and when you get lost, by the lately I've not met someone who's gotten lost, but if you're in Nairobi and you are new, or not necessarily new, but you're trying to locate a building or a place, do not ask anybody. Do not just approach strangers. No. Personally, I've come to find out that the best people to ask, even though sometimes they are clueless, unakwanga so clueless, you're like, man, this is your job. You're supposed to know Nairobi inside out. The 2 best people to ask when you're looking for a place is, 1, a taxi service guy or woman, or a security guard manning a building. Those are the 2 people I can say I find a little bit safe to disclose that, hey, I am lost. Can you help me? Where is this and this and that? And they will direct you without putting yourself in danger. When you ask a stranger in Nairobi, you never know who you're asking. And they can pick out new people. Let me not lie to you. They can easily pick out a new person, And also, let me talk about the vice versa. The vice versa means, if someone approaches you, this is another security thing that we have to talk about. And it has happened to me severally. And as much as I want to be a good Samaritan, as much as I know I need to help people out there, Nairobi has become insecure to the level of we have to up our game each and every time. You always have to know the new con game in the market. You always have to be aware. You're like, who? Leo ni gani? Kesho ni gani? So people approaching you, or a stranger approaching you asking for directions, I do not stop. I do not listen. I do not even try to engage them. I keep on walking. Or if I am helping, I do so while also still walking in motion. Like, unataka nini? Unaenda wapi? Enda pale. Uliza ule. I do not stop. That is how sad it has become in Nairobi nowadays. And I know most major cities experience some of these insecurity issues that I have raised. So guys, for me, this is just part 1 of how to stay safe in Nairobi. These are just 5 things to do so that you can be safe in Nairobi, but I'm gonna do a part 2 because I wanted to do 10 ways to stay safe in Nairobi. So these are just 5 steps to stay safe in Nairobi. There's nothing more from me. So tutaongea baadaye as you wait for the part 2. Thank you so much. Let me have my drink. And also kindly subscribe, like, share if you like my content. 2023, we are doing this together. Sawa? Bye-bye.